Welcome to Red Dead 2. Thanks for watching. Today we're going to focus on draw domino tips and strategies for the heads up game. So sit back and enjoy. In this game there are no spinners, so that means there are only two moves. Generally speaking, try to keep both options open so that no matter what your opponent does, you have a move available. Sometimes you might see an opportunity to deviate from that, but generally speaking, try to keep both options open unless you see something really, really good. Take a look at the board in front of you and ask yourself the question, can you find the best move here? If you'd like, go ahead and hit pause. All right. I trust that you've had some time to look at this and think it over. If you have found the right play here and a play that wins, you probably don't need to watch any more of this video because you understand all the concepts you need to be successful at this. If not, I'm going to show you very shortly. All right, we have 4 tiles remaining, and our opponent has 6 tiles remaining. We have a total of 7 plus 9 is 16, 16 and 9 is 25. We have 25 points remaining. We'll just say 25 points right there. And we don't know what our opponent has. If we domino, we get whatever points our opponent has, however many pit points or whatever. If it goes to showdown where both people pass, in other words, both people pass, it would come down to whoever has the most amount of points is going to lose. Now we don't know what our opponent has. We know they have 6 tiles, but we don't know what exactly our opponent has. We could make a move for, let's say, this one. We can't do this one right now, so that's off limits. Or we could do this one, and you know, obviously we're going to do it right here. But we don't know if we're going to win. We're probably going to win. It could be pass later. But we want to make the strongest move possible. And to do that, we're not going to want to do any of those moves. So we don't want to do any of those moves. What we like to do is make it go to showdown. And let's think at the next level here. What I mean by that is, how many 5s are there? There's 1 5 right here. I'm going to put number 1 right here. There's number 2 on the edge right here. There's number 3 right here. 4 right there. Number 5. There's number 6 right here. And number 7 right here. That means that we have, right here, the only 5 that's left. There are no more 5s left. And coincidentally, there's a 4 right here, and there's a 4 on this edge right here. So if we play the 4-5 right here, that's going to force our opponent to draw. It's going to force our opponent to draw these 2 dominoes right here. So our opponent's going to have, instead of 6, they're going to have 8 dominoes. We're only going to have 3 dominoes. So we're only going to have these 3 dominoes right here. I'm going to highlight those in purple. And those 3 dominoes are going to be worth, let's see, 5 plus 4 is 9. 9 plus 7 is 16. It's going to be worth 16 points. Okay? All right. Odds are very, very high. Actually, I would say about 100% that these 8 dominoes that our opponent is going to have are going to be worth more than 16 points. And they could be worth a bunch. We don't know what they're going to be worth, but, you know, they're going to be worth some points, a lot more than 16. So we're going to get a lot of points by doing this move, is 4-5, putting it on the end here.
All right, here we go.
Now, when it went to the actual showdown, we ended up winning because we only had 16 points, and our opponent had 52 points. So we ended up getting 52 points, which is quite a bit. Now, we might have been able to win by playing the other tiles, but we would not have been able to score that many points had we gone in a different direction. In this game, we're first to go, and there's a lot of different options here. I decided to take a weird line here, but we have 3 5s. We've got 3 2s, tiles with 2s on them. We've also got the double 5 and the double 2, which is kind of sweet. We got 2 6s, no 4s, no 0s, and 1 1. There's a couple of lines of thought here. Typically speaking, you want to get rid of pips early. You could vary from that strategy and force an opponent to draw tiles, but that can backfire, as it does with me right here. Now, the good news for me is I am picking up a lot of tiles, which means I'll have a lot more options available down the road, should I be able to block. But not looking very good right here, as my opponent is forcing me to draw, and I've got like a ton of points, which is not very good at all. So I've got to come up with a way to play smart here and get through this.
It's a hell of a lot of work, but I love this store and a life where I ain't sleeping outside.
So yeah, I've got a lot of points here. I'm just going to try to unload as many of these points as possible and possibly, put some pressure on my opponent here. So it's looking like I'm going to unload the 3 and the 5 but on the left side where there's the 2 3s. And, I have a lot of the 5s. I think there's only 1 left. And then now I'm faced with an interesting decision point right here. So I've got a little bit of a dilemma here. My opponent has only 1 tile left. So that's a little bit of a problem for me. And if you'll notice, I have about 52 points worth of material here. So that's not very good. That could basically, tie the score, because that's what I already have right there is 52 points. So not looking very good here, but I have a plan. What I'd like to do is get rid of some points, and I think I may have a way to take a little gamble here. I don't know exactly what my opponent has. That is unknown. I do know there's 1 tile there. I also know that my opponent had a 5 option here and did not take it. My opponent took this option right here, and typically speaking, most players like to get rid of their points early, which I didn't do, but typically we like to get rid of the points so we're not stuck with a bunch of points at the end. So what does that mean? Well, it means this. There is, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And number 7 is probably over here. We don't know that for sure. It's probably in this pile right here. So there's 7 different 5s. I'm speculating that the last 5 is somewhere over here. Don't know that for sure. Odds are it is. If it isn't, okay, we lose right away. But hey, you know, I'm in a little bit of a tight spot. I'd like to turn things around a little bit. Don't want to give my opponent a lot of points. I'd like to try to put this game away. So, what that means is we would like to have both ends a 5. So this end right here is a 5. So we could, we could take this 5-5 and play it right here. But that still leaves this 2. This 2 right here is going to be wide open. We'd like to make a stronger move than that and basically block it off. So what we're going to do is we have a 5 that has a 2 right here, this 5-2. We're going to play that right over here. That means the only move that our opponent can make is a 5, or they have to draw from the pile until they get a 5. And if they have to draw from the pile over there, that's good for us. We know that there's 1 5. We just don't know, where that 5 is. We think it's in the pile, and we're hoping it's in the pile because, we can get back into this game and maybe work some out. Because we have a lot of 5s that we can play and prolong the game. So we're going to see how that works out here.
You're in trouble.
So this is working out really good. Our opponent is drawing tiles and drawing more tiles as we were hoping. We did not want our opponent to domino because we would have been stuck with 52 points. But yeah, our opponent is drawing away, and plus we know that our opponent does not have a 5. That's the last 5 used up there, so we can make a lot of moves here, and that we're in a good spot. So right here we unload the 5s, getting rid of points and trying to keep our moves open because we know our opponent does not have a 5. Now we've got a good option here. We've got 2 6s. We can move that. We're going to get rid of 12 points. We may actually have a chance to win this game, which would be cool. And maybe we do, maybe we don't. But yeah, we're going to try to get rid of those points. And give ourselves a fighting chance here to win. Alright, going to zoom in on the screen here because I'm not sure if this shows up in the picture. We basically have a 6 and a 2 on this one. This is a 2 and a 2 right here. So we have 2 different dominoes left. Now, there's a couple ways we can play this. We want to play this in the way that guarantees we win in domino. And that means basically we don't want to play this 2 right here this on this end over here. We don't want to do that. So I'm just going to put it in red. We don't want to play that right there. That would be a bad move for us. Really bad move because that would put 2 6s on the edge, and there'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Our opponent has a 6 or 2 in their holdings. We don't want to do that move. That's a bad move. A much better move is basically to play either the 2-2 right here, or alternatively to play this 6 edge right here and play it on this end right here. And that would be good because that would mean the edge would be a 2 right here. And we, voila, have, of course, 2 2s, so we can play either edge no matter what our opponent does, and we domino. Just something to keep in mind there. So here I go ahead and play it as I discussed earlier. Now there's 2s on both ends. My opponent plays one end, and I, of course, domino.
There we go.
And I get a whooping 13 points and 3 tiles, but hey, that beats a massive loss, which what I was looking at earlier from my bad start. And of course, that gives me the W here. So yeah, that wraps up this video for Domino's tips and strategies. Draw, heads up. Thanks for watching, and good luck in your play.